Hey, how's it going, everybody? Mike Weber here, your Los Angeles real estate broker, here with your real estate market update for the beginning of October 2020. I honestly cannot believe what I am seeing. The numbers this month are just totally crazy. It's starting to seem to me that we are either headed for a massive blow off top in real estate as the mania is getting totally out of control, or we are experiencing the first signs of serious inflation in the economy. I can't say which, but I am definitely concerned with what I'm seeing. So after, 6-7 years of very solid price growth in the real estate market, the market is managing to have gains now that pale in comparison even the best years over the last 6, 7, 8 years since the last housing crash. A lot of this is being fueled, as I've talked about in previous videos, by the extremely accommodative monetary policy being set by the Fed. We're experiencing the lowest mortgage rates in the history of the country. And then, of course, the government is controlling the supply on the market through various measures. But all of that said, I genuinely cannot believe what we're seeing in the data. It seemed as though a couple years ago, affordability was already becoming an issue, and clearly that is not the case. Now, although rates have gone down, maybe a percent, give or take, depending on what period you look at over the last year or two, on your median priced home in Los Angeles County, we're only talking about probably $100 a month difference in payment if you were holding prices steady. Now prices of homes are skyrocketing, so therefore you're still paying a lot more than you otherwise would have paid a year or two ago, even though rates are, a percent, give or take, lower than they would have been back then. So again, I don't know what is going on. I think this is totally crazy. I'm seeing a lot of influencers and people in the real estate space already calling the crash coming, but we are definitely not seeing anything close to that, at least as far as Los Angeles County is concerned, or the South Bay Beach cities. There are potentially some leading indicator areas like Manhattan, San Francisco, that are definitely starting to show serious signs of pain. But at least here, what we're seeing now is the polar opposite. We are seeing total mania in the housing market. So let's go ahead and jump in. We'll start out with Los Angeles County as a whole, and then we'll move down to the South Bay Beach cities and see what's happening there. All right, so taking a look at Los Angeles County to start out, we're going to look at median home prices and take a look at this. I mean, this is like the most extreme price growth I've seen definitely since I've been in the business. I mean, this is going back 5 years, this chart here, and clearly you can see nothing like this has happened going all the way back 5 years, and really nothing like this has probably happened, going back much further, if at all. I mean, this is, getting to the point where it's just unbelievably extreme in terms of the price growth that we're seeing. Now we are up 15.6% compared to a year ago. And if you just look, if you just go back here to May of 2020, so, right around when this whole coronavirus thing started, median home prices were at $639,000. And just, 5 months later, or whatever that is, we're at $740,000. That's $100,000 gain in just, 5 or 6 short months in median home prices in LA County. So this is, it's incredible. It's unbelievable to see. Clearly, this is not just an anomaly, a 1 month or a 2 month thing. This is clearly a trend. It's picking up speed. This line is extremely steep. And again, we've seen nothing like this, in many, many years, maybe ever, in the U.S. housing market. So if we take a look at the supply of inventory, we're down just 8.6% compared to a year ago. So, inventory is kind of back where, it typically would be. We're not seeing a jump, a huge rise in inventory that you might expect from all the people that are in forbearance or that are delinquent, from all the tenants not paying the rent. Those landlords haven't started listing those properties, at least yet. So with that tight inventory, buyers are out there in droves, bidding up properties like crazy. Now, if we take a look at closed sales, here's where you see we are up 15.2% compared to a year ago. So you could see here kind of last year, things kind of started trending down, which is pretty typical as you see in these previous years. Right now, I think we're experiencing kind of a later curve in the activity that we would typically see, because several months out of the year were muted as a result of the lockdowns of coronavirus. No let up so far in closed sales activity. Again, up 15% compared to a year ago. And then that's a pretty big jump in the number of sales that are getting closed. Now, if we look at the South Bay beach cities, the trend is even more extreme. We are up 18.7% compared to last year. Again, we haven't seen any sort of steep increase like this in the last 5+ years. It's just unbelievable to see so much growth. Again, here, if we go back to May, we were at 719,000, and now we are at $865,000 for the median priced home in the South Bay beach cities, for the information coming out of our board of realtors. If we look at the supply of inventory in the South Bay, we see that is just down 10% year over year. So again, pretty decent supply. We had a couple years where supply looked like it was going to really start taking off, really towards kind of the end of 2018, beginning of 2019, when the Fed decided to lower rates again, kind of go back to QE. And of course, they started to stimulate the market. And so inventory has been low since then and is really still relatively low for a balanced market. I mean, 2.6 months supply isn't really much inventory out there. And that's really why we're seeing this crazy price growth right now, because there's just not a lot of options out there for buyers to purchase. Now, if we look at closed sales, we see the same huge unprecedented spike in closed sales, really making up for a lot of activity that just never happened for the beginning of the year. Whereas normally, February onwards, we start to see closed sales really pick up. Obviously, we didn't see that because of the lockdowns. And so now we're playing catch up. But that said, if you look at the month of September, we're up 28.9% in the number of closed sales compared to where we were last year. And there is no end in sight, at least right now. So pretty incredible numbers to look at and process. And I have a lot of people asking me, Mike, should we wait until next year to buy a house? Our price is going to come down. And it's kind of a crazy thing, because on the one hand, I mean, it would seem logical that we should start to see some pain in the housing market as these forbearances roll off, as this moratorium on evictions ends, and landlords say, I want to get the heck out of owning California real estate, with the laws that are being passed that are hugely beneficial, more so to tenants than landlords. And so, you would think we'd already be seeing some of this stuff, leading into the end of this year. Now, on the other hand, my gut tells me if you're talking about a primary residence, somewhere where you're going to live, your family's going to live, a place where, you have safety and comfort and can update it and do the things that you want to do, I don't know if it's worth it to play the cards, because with this kind of incredible price growth, let's just say this goes on for another year, 2, 3 years. I mean, who knows how big this, real estate bubble could end up going. And there's always the chance that if it starts to come down at some point in the future, maybe it never comes down to the price where we're at today. Kind of same thing that we're seeing in the stock market now as well. So there's no perfect knowledge, and I think that's the problem. So, if it's an investment property, or if you're looking to buy something with the current tenant difficulties that you might face, it's probably a different dialogue. If you're buying at a 3 cap or something like that and worried about having tenants that you can't evict that maybe don't pay your rent. But if we're talking about a property that you're going to live in for the rest of your life, facing the kind of inflation that we're probably already seeing the beginning of right now, probably a smart idea to get out there and buy yourself a place to live while these rates are so low and you can actually still afford something that you might want to live in. Hope this information was useful. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Let me know what you're seeing in your area down below and what your thoughts are on this, insane price activity that we're seeing. And obviously, if I can help you with anything real estate related, buying, selling, investing, your friends, your family, reach out to me. Let me know. I'm here to help you. And look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Thanks so much for watching. God bless.